Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the main news on Camnet TV. Here are the top stories making headlines in our news tonight. Don't overlook women in politics. First Deputy Speaker. VEEP justifies IMITA UFOLE statement. ZAMRA calls for careful disposal of medicines. In international news, Mali suspends foreign artisanal gold mining licenses following fatal accidents. And in sports news, Zambia under-17 CONFDENT ahead of Sunday's game against Tanzania. To join me with the details after this break.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
With the news in detail, my name is Sylvia Zulu. The first Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Malungo Chisangano, has called on political parties to create deliberate policies around the inclusion of women at various levels of leadership. Speaking at the commemoration of Women in Politics Day in Lusaka, Ms. Chisangano says there is need for a more inclusive and representative political landscape in Zambia. She says political parties should enforce gender quotas in party leadership structures, provide financial and mentorship support for female candidates, creating safer spaces for women to participate in political activities without fear. The Deputy Speaker has equally called upon young women to take up the mantle of leadership, noting that Zambia's democracy depends on their voices, ideas, and unwavering commitment to change. Meanwhile, Transparency International Zambia Chapter President Priscilla Chansa has urged government to create a conducive environment for promoting clean money in politics through interventions such as performing due diligence and know your donor practices.
The numbers remain far from being equitable. For instance, we only have 25 female parliamentarians out of 167 members in our National Assembly. We must ask ourselves, what barriers continue to stand in the way? What more can we do to ensure that women do not only enter politics, but thrive and lead effectively? Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, despite constitutional provisions and commitments to gender equality, women in politics continue to face numerous challenges. We had some of the challenges that were brought out by the people on the panel, but there are some more, such as cultural and societal norms that discourage female leadership.
Government must also ensure prohibition of the misuse of state resources for electoral purposes. Declaration and reimbursement of costs associated with the use of state resources, empowering relevant oversight authorities to monitor and sanction abuse of state resources, and ensuring neutrality of state authorities involved in election campaigns. Number 7, which is the last one actually, establishing effective oversight bodies, promoting interagency cooperation, strengthening sanctions and ensuring their enforcement, and encouraging participation from civil society and other stakeholders in campaign finance monitoring will also be an imperative for government to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, women participation in politics and governance is a critical issue that has gained increasing attention.
Republican Vice President Mutale W.K. Nalumango has expressed disappointment over the misinterpretation of her IMITA UFOLE statement by politicians and various stakeholders. During a question time session, Mrs. Nalumango clarified that her statement was not an endorsement or encouragement for young girls to become pregnant to receive financial support. She emphasized that the program under the Ministry of Community Development is designed to assist vulnerable pregnant women, helping them sustain themselves during pregnancy. She has since urged members of Parliament and the public to avoid politicizing her remarks and to ensure accurate interpretation of government initiatives aimed at supporting vulnerable groups.
Very unfortunate that for us who are lawmakers here, you can expect that I would want to break the law. Don't we know that children under 18, if you pregnant any of them, you should actually be called a criminal? So would you fail to understand when I say we help pregnant mothers? I didn't even use women, mothers. Even if I used women, each one of us here must understand that we are talking about a woman in a home. And in Zambia, being pregnant is a pride. When you are married, it's a pride. You feel good. So now, you want to turn it political? Come on. The men of Luapula realize that sometimes they fear to get pregnant because they don't have the resource. So now, when government comes in, then you complain. Then you start saying, she's saying what? What is wrong with us? You even take figures of speech as if you don't speak in vernacular. You start saying this is. Come on. IMITA UFOLE refers to any pregnant mother who is incapable. There is no question here. You can shout the question. There is no question. It is the truth, madam. When we talk pregnancy here, in my home, I would want my married daughter to get pregnant, but not the one who is not married. So we don't talk about that. And worse still, underage. We can't be talking about underage. Why do you want to twist a straightforward situation into a political issue?
The Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority, ZAMRA, has expressed concern over the proper storage and disposal of medications, emphasizing the importance in ensuring effectiveness and safety. Speaking in an interview, ZAMRA Senior Public Relations Officer Ludovic Mwape says medications have expiration dates that indicate the duration of their potency and safety, adding that it is essential to check these dates and remove any expired medications from storage. He adds that there is need to follow storage guidelines. Different medications have specific storage requirements, such as refrigeration or protection from light. Mr. Mwape also adds that medications can be hazardous waste and their disposal requires spatial handling, stating that pharmacies should identify which medications require spatial disposal procedures.
The issue of proper storage and disposal of medications is crucial to ensure their effectiveness and safety. However, there are some key pointers to consider, such as storage duration. Number 1, check expiration dates. Medications have expiration dates that indicate the duration of their potency and safety. It's essential to check these dates and remove any expired medicines from storage. Secondly, follow storage guidelines. Different medications have specific storage requirements such as refrigeration or protection from light. It's crucial to follow these guidelines to maintain the medication's effectiveness. Thirdly, rotate stock. Pharmacies should implement a first-in, first-out policy to ensure that older medications are dispensed before newer ones are ordered. In terms of procedure for drug disposal, entities should identify hazardous waste. Medications can be hazardous waste, and their disposal requires special handling. Pharmacies should identify which medications require special disposal procedures. Use approved disposal methods. Pharmacies and entities should use approved disposal methods such as incineration or chemical degradation to dispose of hazardous medications. Following local regulations is also important, and guidelines for medication disposal. Always inform ZAMRA when medicines are expired.
The United Party for National Development, UPND, has rejected the proposal made by the Patriotic Front faction president, Given Lubinda, that mines in Zambia should close until a wiser generation is born in the country. UPND Media Director Mark Simoe says Mr. Lubinda's position on mining reflects the thinking of the party that does not care about the livelihoods of the majority of people in the Copperbelt, Northwestern and other mining areas. He says such a mindset is what saw KCM and Mopani copper mines close operations under the watch of the PF government, with disastrous consequences on the livelihoods of the people. Mr. Simoe says the administration will not tolerate proposals from Mr. Lubinda and his cohorts to close mines in Zambia, as the country depends on mining for foreign exchange.
Not long ago, Mr. Given Lubinda with his friends ran down the mines, relegating over 20,000 citizens to unemployment on the copper belt. We all know that KCM was liquidated and many people were actually retrenched. Now, you may wish to know that KCM benefited a number of citizens that sit in Chilabomwe, Chingola, Kitwe, Mfurila, Chambishi, Kalulushi, Ndola, because of the proximity of towns on the copper belt. All those lost their jobs. So many liabilities were left. Suppliers were not all given their money. That is a mess that Lubinda and his friends left. When it comes to Mopani, we are all aware that Mopani was closed. Over 7,000 citizens lost their jobs. They were thrown into poverty because Lubinda and his friends had no brains to turn around the performance of the mining sector there. And it is an insult to citizens for a person who has been a minister and a person who has been a member of parliament to assert that Zambians are unwise. And now we should be looking for people in Zambia that are wise to be born. I don't think he's in his right frame of mind to speak in the manner that he spoke. The same information that was reiterated the time the finance minister, Dr. Stumbeko Mosokotwane, appeared on Hot FM to just authenticate his utterances. So it is not just an embarrassment, but we would like to dismiss that with the contempt it deserves. That number one, it is an insult to the people of Zambia to call them unwise. Secondly, Lubinda should be the last person to talk about the mining sector that has been revamped, knowing that the emergence of Mopani has led to the payment of many citizens that were owed money, including retirees in the local authorities in Kitwe who received 87 million kwacha, among others.
Mines and Minerals Development Minister Paul Kabuswe has opposed an application by Patriotic Front faction President Mao Sampa to sub-honor him and produce documents in a matter Sampa is challenging the sale of Mopani copper mines. In his reply to the application to sub-honor him before the Constitutional Court, Mr. Kabuswe argues that Mr. Sampa, who alleges that the sale was procedurally irregular and unconstitutional, should be required to present evidence in support of his claims. Minister Kabuswe maintains that government should not be compelled to assist the petitioner in proving his case, emphasizing that the burden of proof rests with Mr. Sampa. The dispute centers on the controversial transfer of a 51% stake in Mopani copper mines to International Resources Holdings for $1.1 billion. Mr. Sampa contends that the transaction, executed as a share subscription, invades constitutional safeguards by mischaracterizing the disposal of state property, a process that he argues required parliamentary approval under Article 210 of the Constitution. In his sub-honor application, Mr. Sampa seeks the production of all relevant documentation related to the transaction, which includes the complete record of dealings between Zambia Consolidated Copper Mines Investment Holdings and Delta Mining Limited, international government reports, minutes of meetings and contractual documents pertinent to the disposal of Mopani shares. The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development says it has implemented various policy measures to strengthen the management of the Constituents Development Fund (CDF) across the country. These measures include the establishment and capacity building of 1,888 ward development committees to enhance local governance and project implementation. This follows concerns raised by various stakeholders, including Transparency International Zambia (TIZ), regarding the underutilization of the CDF as highlighted in the Auditor General's report. Permanent Secretary for Technical Services, Nicholas Piri, stated that in response, the government has undertaken a comprehensive review of key legislations, including the CDF Act, the Public Procurement Act, and related regulations to align them with the improved CDF framework. He explains that the policies guiding CDF implementation in 2022 and 2023 were not fully aligned with the fund's expanded scope, prompting the government to repeal and replace the legislation, leading to the enactment of the CDF Act No. 1 of 2024.
We embarked on the countrywide formation of WBCs, 1,858 of them. And between August of that year, when we formed government, up to about December thereabout, we had for the first time put in place 1,858 ward development committees. But we had another job to capacity build them, for them to understand their roles. And the ministry undertook that particular task to develop the capacities of the WBCs. When we started implementing the CDF, we realized that there were some legal impediments that affected the effective utilization of the CDF. These included, among others, the structure of the CDF Act of 2018, as well as the structure of the Procurement Act. And government had to undertake some legislative reforms in order to ensure that we address the legal impediments in the implementation of the CDF. And so in 2024, government did enact the CDF Act No. 1 of 2024, and also did amend the Public Procurement Act, all in the spirit to ensure that we increase the utilization of the CDF.
Christian Churches of Zambia, CCZ, has reaffirmed the church's commitment in ensuring peace among political players as the country heads towards the 2026 polls. CCZ Secretary General Father Emmanuel Chikoya says the church remains dedicated in promoting unity among politicians, recognizing the importance of harmony, respect, and mutual understanding in the nation. Father Chikoya says the church has collaborated with key stakeholders, including the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, and the Ministry of Home Affairs to foster unity by emphasizing on upholding the rule of law and order. Meanwhile, Father Chikoya commends the police for their recent success in apprehending criminals at the Kafue roundabout and its commitment to ensuring the safety and security of citizens.
The church is not absent. Constantly we are preaching messages of love, of peace, of joy. So we are preaching messages throughout the year. And so we don't have to step out and step in. we are actually in it. And some of these things happen behind the scenes. Sometimes there are difficulties. Sometimes different parties will take forever to respond to you. They'll avoid your cause. But we will always be committed to promote unity. We are cooperating with and collaborating with ECZ. We are collaborating with a lot of line ministries, including Ministry of Home Affairs, to ensure that there's law and order. But we will also speak the truth. We will challenge bad practices. We will challenge bad policing and commend the police and other agencies when they do well. For example, in the recent past, I think we've had the Kafue Road challenges. We commend the police for arresting those criminals and the Chirundu area. We commend the police for arresting, but again, when we see excesses like the shooting of that girl who has to get a leg amputated, we will speak. And so there's no moment you can say this is a perfect moment. We should be active, because peace building, reconciliation are a lifelong commitment. They are not a project for one day or for 1 month or a project linked to elections. It's a lifelong commitment.
Environmentalist Timothy Peary has urged individuals, businesses and manufacturers to adopt sustainable practices, improving waste disposal and supporting recycling initiatives. Mr. Peary says poor waste management, particularly plastic pollution, blocks drainage systems during the rainy season and contributes to urban flooding. He emphasized that both the government and civic authorities must find effective waste management solutions. He adds that governments, citizens and private sector share equal responsibility towards waste management.
One of the major environmental problems we have is that of poor waste management, littering, particularly plastic pollution. It becomes very evident during the rainy season that we have this waste management problem, because we see plastic and litter blocking the majority of our drainages, and this contributes to the flash floods and overflow of water that we see in a lot of urban areas, particularly here in Lusaka City. It is the responsibility of civic authorities and government, of course, to look into how this waste is managed. However, part of the responsibility falls on individuals and the private sector, because the individuals generate a lot of waste that ends up in places where it's not supposed to be. It ends up in places that are not designated for disposal of waste. The private sector, particularly the manufacturers, also produce a lot of products that end up in our environment as waste.
The Advocates for Democratic Governance Foundation, ADEG, has endorsed Republican President Hakainde Hichilema's call for Zambia to prioritize internal solutions to address the country's socio-economic challenges. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, ADEG Executive Director Gideon Musonda emphasized the need for Zambia to fully utilize its vast mineral resources to achieve economic independence and reduce reliance on donor aid. Mr. Musonda urged the government to implement policies that prioritize Zambians over foreign investors, ensuring that all investments benefit local communities first. He also stressed the importance of value addition to mineral resources, warning that continued exploitation of raw materials puts Zambians at a disadvantage. His remarks follow President Hichilema's statement yesterday, in which he highlighted the economic disruptions caused by shift in global politics, particularly under the Trump administration. Last month, the United States government ceased funding for key programs, including the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, a move that President Hichilema described as a slap on both cheeks.
Premise where the president, called for, for us, to start looking inward on how we can be self-reliant. Yeah, I think that is extremely important, call, and we must all support, the president's, call. Yeah, and I think it's high time that we should, go that route. Whether we are ready or not, we have got no option. We have got no option. Donors are now looking at addressing their own issues before they look outside. And you know that worldwide, the global economy is not doing better than it was. There is a more to do with difficulties in their own home countries than issues they can address outside. And so it's extremely important that we wake up and find means of addressing, our own issues. And the best way is to grow our economy. When the economy grows, it will be able to cater, or address the challenges that we have in terms of sustaining the lives of the people. Yeah. So, we've got our own mineral resources. I think it's a high time that we go beyond just making pronouncement.
Minister of Youth, Sports and Arts, Elvis Nkandu, has called on private sector and individuals to collaborate with the government to create opportunities for young people and address challenges they face. Speaking at the National Youth Week celebration under the theme Voices Amplified and Innovations Ignited, the minister acknowledged that the government alone cannot tackle all issues but needs support from other stakeholders. He says entrepreneurs play a crucial role in unlocking the country's potential, creating jobs and improving lives, that which drives the economy of the country. The Youth Week celebration provided a platform for young people to amplify their voices and showcase their innovations ahead of Youth Day that falls on the 12th of March.
Government alone may not have the capacity to do everything, but I think you, the private sector, individuals with the heart for your country will be able to help government. One, create opportunities for our young people. And also, you can also provide some interventions towards the challenges that our young people are going through. Me, I've been talking to you since 4th, so I don't intend to bore you with our speeches. If there was a way, it would have ended on the 2 speakers that have already spoken. Because I think everything, it touched on you, the young people. It touched also on us, the elders. So I think that was very important. Now, having said that, I should also that I'm very honored to welcome you as your host minister to this year's entrepreneurship fair, being celebrated under the theme that I've talked about, Voices Amplified and Innovations Ignited. This event is a testament to our government's commitment to empowering entrepreneurs and promoting innovation. And today, as we gather to celebrate the entrepreneurial spirit, to amplify the voices of our young people, and to ignite innovations that will drive our economic growth, we believe that entrepreneurship is very key to unlocking our country's potential, creating jobs, and improving lives. So, Dumisan, once again, Dr. Cholo, thank you very much. When I was at Cavendish University with my colleagues who were there, I'm sure those from tertiary learning institutions, I invited them to be part of this event.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
For Camnet TV, Facebook and YouTube, Sunday is a very special day of the week, and it's a great time to find solace in prayer. Find fresh hope, spiritual growth, worship, fellowship, and encouragement. Whether you live next door to us or halfway across Zambia. We would love to have your presence this Sunday, 9th March 2025, as well as worship together under the power of God at the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill, Kabulonga. Preacher, Bishop and Reverend Simon Banda of Dunamis Ministries. Time 09 hours to 12 hours. You are all welcome.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbanda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Thank you so much for staying with us. And now in international news, Mali has announced the suspension of artisanal gold mining licenses for foreign companies following a series of fatal accidents in the country, one of Africa's top 3 gold producers. In a statement delivered on National Broadcaster or RTM, after a Council of Ministers meeting, President of the Transitional Government, General Assimi Goita, directed the suspension of all artisanal mining permits granted to foreigners. The decision follows recent mining site accidents that have claimed dozens of lives including incidents in January in the Kolikoro region and February in the Kayas region. Artisanal gold mining contributes approximately 30 tons of gold annually, accounting for 6% of Mali's total gold production. Here's a roundup of international news.
Mali said on Wednesday it was suspending licenses for foreign artisanal gold mining companies after a series of fatal accidents in the West African country, one of Africa's top 3 gold producers. General Assimi Goïta, president of Mali's transitional government, ordered the suspension of artisanal mining permits granted to foreigners, according to a statement issued following a Council of Ministers meeting, which was read out on the national television. The move comes in response to accidents at mining sites that have claimed the lives of dozens of people, most recently in January in Kolikoro region in the south of the country and in February in Kaya region in the southwest. Artisanal gold mining is estimated to produce around 30 tons of gold a year and represents 6% of Mali's annual gold production. The Council of Ministers statement said measures would be taken to facilitate the recovery of equipment used in gold panning and its addition to national patrimony.
Sudan has filed a case with the International Court of Justice claiming that the United Arab Emirates has violated the Genocide Convention by supplying weapons and funding the Rapid Support Forces, a rebel group involved in the ongoing conflict in Sudan. The United Arab Emirates has rejected these allegations, labeling them a cynical publicity stunt aimed at diverting attention from the Sudanese armed forces' role in the ongoing violence. Sudan's complaint submitted on Wednesday states that the RSF and its allies have committed serious crimes including genocide, murder, rape and other human rights violations against the Masalit community. Both the RSF and the Sudanese military have been accused of abuses during the conflict, which began in April 2023, leading to over 24,000 deaths and displacement over 14 million people, according to the United Nations. Decisions from the International Court of Justice can take years and are legally binding.
South Africa recorded a significant decline in rhino poaching in 2024, with 420 animals killed for their horns compared to 499 the previous year, a roughly 16% decrease according to the country's Environment Ministry. The drop is partly attributed to an ongoing dehunting program in KwaZulu-Natal, a region previously hardest hit by poachers. However, Environmental Minister expressed concern over a rise in poaching incidents within the iconic Kruger National Park, where 88 rhinos were killed last year, up from 78 in 2023. The vast and remote nature of the park makes it difficult to police, posing an ongoing challenge for conservationists. South Africa is home to nearly half of Africa's endangered black rhino population and the world's largest population of white rhinos. Rhino horns made of keratin, the same keratin found in human nails and hair, are highly sought after in parts of East Asia for use in traditional medicine and jewelry.
Zambia Under-17 women's national team coach Alex Sikanyika has expressed confidence in his squad, highlighting their commitment and hard work during training sessions ahead of the team's FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup second round first leg match against Tanzania. The match is scheduled for Sunday at the Azam Complex in Dar es Salaam. He noted that the players are showing significant improvement every day, with a strong focus on refining their technical and tactical abilities. According to Mr. Sikanyika, the team is determined to put up a solid performance and compete at the highest level. He also emphasized the progress of the goalkeepers, stating that they are steadily improving to meet international standards. Mr. Sikanyika remains optimistic that their dedication will translate into strong performances during the qualifiers.
Having come to Tanzania for the second edition, On my department, I feel we'll try to work out on what we have prepared, more especially that I've got new entrants, new goalkeepers, who have shown a lot of positivity. And I feel confident that we can do better as compared to what we did last time. You know, when you are working with young lads who are just being introduced into the system, it takes time to see that they develop further. But looking at how far we have gone, we are good to go. I think looking at how much preparations we have done, where we had to gel the old players who is quite experienced and the new ones, it's looking better. I think if at all we have to keep them, make them understand what is needed at this level, we can have a better outcome and good results. Otherwise, the team is quite good and we can do something better. Okay, I think even as I said in my preamble, we have new players, young players who are just being introduced to the international stage. We hope and believe that they will do what they have shown us so far. According to what we have seen, they can do it. Now, it all goes with how much they will withstand the pressure at this level. You know, these are the players we are just introducing to the system. So as soon as they get there, we don't know the outcome, but we are there to run behind them and make them understand and do the best. I think, as for now, I can say a clean sheet is very important. But my own target is to develop a goalkeeper who can do something good, and a goalkeeper who should be so modern, a goalkeeper who should be of that international standards. Because I'm working with young goalkeepers who I need to develop to that level.
That's it for our main news tonight. Here's a recap of the stories making headlines. Don't overlook women in politics, first Deputy Speaker. VEEP justifies IMITA UFOLE statement. ZAMRA calls for careful disposal of medicines. In international news, Mali suspends foreign artisanal gold mining licenses following fatal accidents. And in sports news, Zambia under-17 confident ahead of Sunday's game against Tanzania. We now look at the Camnet phase for the day, coming from the book of Revelations 3, verse 6. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the church. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Good night and God bless you.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, midday news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In Forgotten Stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
For Camnet TV, Facebook and YouTube, Sunday is a very special day of the week, and it's a great time to find solace in prayer. find fresh hope, spiritual growth, worship, fellowship, and encouragement. Whether you live next door to us or halfway across Zambia, we would love to have your presence this Sunday, 9th March 2025, as well as worship together under the power of God at the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill, Kabulonga. Preacher, Bishop and Reverend Simon Banda of Dunamis Ministries. Time 09 hours to 12 hours. You are all welcome.